Hello and welcome to MTA number 17. This is Mosen and it's September 21st, 2018. And right, we are getting ready to pump up the stream and keep the leveling going. We adjusted some sound settings and all that stuff, so I hope it's all well and all good. Right, the topics are 2021, 3 points about classic versus retail, and recipes to go after. Now here's the thing. First we are leveling these tunes still, so if anyone wants to join in here, that should be fine, because we're playing here for fun a little bit more than anything else. But of course we'll raid at some point, I guess, maybe. But if anyone else wants to join in, you're of course welcome to do so. We made it to 36 now. As I said, I've been gone for quite a while, and yeah, now we're here, and 17 is about to hit. So the first topic that we wanted to talk about is 2021. There were a couple of things that or a couple of times where I heard now that you know, they were aiming at 2021, but I don't know if that's a rumor. Could very well be a rumor. Blizzard, that is, with the classic realm release date 2021. So I'm not really sure about that. If you guys know when, or whoever said that, I'd appreciate a comment on that or an idea about that, because I just can't see how that would be in any way you know, suitable for anybody, really. I mean, that would be the worst, actually. Now the thing is, I just think if that would be true, that they're aiming at 2021 or 2020 even, I mean, first of all, that would be the Corecraft meme, right? Corecraft 2020. So in the end, it would have been fucking real. What's he doing there? So how I understand is, or what I understand is that they would lose a lot of momentum, and I think, yeah, mostly the momentum and you know, kind of the hype that's been building for the last months. And I think I'm not really. Quest log is full again. That's just how it is, I guess. And in this quest, I think it's already doing this. So the thing is that I think they'd lose a lot of momentum if they would not hurry up doing that and releasing it, because you gotta think about it. Like 2020, that's in like 2 years now, or 2021 even. That would be terrible for I mean, that's so much time that could go past, and I'm not sure if people would still actually play the game then. I mean, it's classic and all, and we get it, but by that time, a lot of people will have played the you know, many more private servers, I guess, in that time until it actually appears, and this could be very, very dangerous, if you know what I mean. Because think about it, then people would go, if they would know, okay, it's another 2 years now, would probably go and play another 2 private realm of some sort, or play the next fresh and the next fresh, and at some point this community that is here, it's obviously not the whole part of it, and it's always just a fraction of the people that want classic realms, and I understand that, but it's still, you know, some people have been playing on other servers for quite a while before this, Nost hype, and then Nost came out, and that is gone already. So that's that was Anathema. Then Lightbringer came, so that's gone. Lightbringer's gone. Now this is the fresh server right here, and this one is will be gone pretty soon as well. And I don't know. I just don't. I think that would be a huge mistake, because they would, a lot of people would be kind of done with Classic Bit when it comes out. That's just what I think about that. I don't know. I just think it's a rumor. I really think it's not smart of them to really wait that long for them to release it. If they really need that much time, I'd rather have them do it right than shitty. But I think everyone understands that that would kill the hype off pretty well, and a lot of people would just go to the next Private Realm, play that one through, and maybe they would be already done, and then you kind of lose your core player base. You probably say your core player base for that project, and they're investing a lot of money into it. So I don't know if that's smart, but I personally don't think that they're gonna take that much time. We'll need to gather some shellfish here, wherever that is. But let's jump into topic number 2, and that is, if you had 3 points to define how Classic is different / better than retail, what would they be? And that comes in from Palm Civ 2, and that's from Reddit r/Classic WoW. And what he goes on to say is basically that, I'll just read it out. Hey everyone, I started playing back in vanilla. I'll never forget it. So many players, no flying mounts, no phasing. The feeling like Azeroth was actually alive with players and had a heartbeat. The game was being significantly harder. Monsters hit hard. Leveling took forever. Mounts at 40. But I do not think I have rose-colored glasses on. Now, we don't know about that one. But that's usually the knockout point for everyone that hates Classic. I truly feel like vanilla was a different game and better in many ways. If you could define that, how would you? What is in vanilla that retail doesn't have that you are excited to get back? Let's not forget about the shellfish mission. Wherever those shellfish are, though. What experiences will you get in Classic that you cannot in retail? I'm excited to hear responses. Now, so basically for him, he says no flying mounts, many players, and no phasing. And first of all, I'm really interested to hear what you guys say in this. And this is a good comment game, right? You can put that in the comments, whatever you think for you that makes, it's just a killer for retail that makes you not being able to play retail because it's so meh. And so for me, for example, like probably the most stupid thing that I just can't wrap my head around anymore, and that started in Cataclysm. Did I get this? Hold on. That I can't wrap my head around is probably LFR and the dungeon system, and I really left clam meat. Okay. It's probably the LFR and dungeon system because, for me that just went one step too far. And the dungeon system was one thing when Wrath came, or in Wrath when the whole dungeon system was implemented. I think it was in the end of Wrath. That was still, I could still tolerate that. I already hated that you would get teleported to the dungeon, and it really already took people out of the world. Not so much with as it is right now, when how it is like a common thing to just do that. But LFR, man, I don't know, 4 difficulties, and you would start at LFR, then go into normal, and then you go into heroic, and then you go into mythic. So you have 4 different difficulties for a single raid, and I just don't understand how that is. And for me, that also takes away from the magic of raiding a little bit. And I know there's a lot of people that say, hey, why does it bother you if some some 12-year-old rolls through the raid content because he's just not that experienced or whatever. But at least he gets to see the content, right? Everyone should get to see the content. And you know, while I of course like the Care Bear idea of everyone seeing the content, it's never been the case that no one saw the content. People just used to see it later. Like when you weren't that effective or you know, a little bit more of a casual player, which is absolutely fine, you would just see the content later, right? Usually there was a nerf anyway at some point, and you would just throw more time against the boss until it, or time and gear against the boss until it finally died. And that is just something that I don't really understand why they put that in. And what I mean with taking away the magic is that, you know, back in the day it was like, when you saw somebody that had certain gear and you couldn't, even if you couldn't achieve it, right? We were just 15-year-olds back then, and we couldn't really, you know, get into AQ 40 and all that stuff, and it was just out of reach. But it just had something to it that if you could get a chance to get in there, it was awesome. You know, it was just really freaking awesome. And you would see people standing around with gear and you know, pose with it, and you would know, oh, this is items from that boss, and that added to the magic of having, you know, not being able to see everything gives a certain epicness to it, right? A certain mystery. But if everyone can just steamroll through everything, that's not really that interesting anymore at some point. So that would be probably something for me that I really hate the most about, or like about Classic, that there's still this old rating systems in place. They were in place in BC still, and Rev. I could even see normal and heroic, to be quite honest, but they somehow wanted to get rid of that. So yeah, there's another good point here that he makes with the phasing. Phasing is absolutely something that I don't understand. You know, the server communities always used to be a big thing for me, and you would know people on your server, and there would be like a community and you know, a friends list and a reputation and people trading, and you know, the PvP system, you would know the opposite faction. And nowadays, you know, you just zone in and out of stuff, and there's people, you know, their names are just so long, and then he's from that server, and it's so anonymous and it doesn't really feel like an MMO anymore. So that's probably one of the other things for me, and that counts for arena, for normal PvP, for dungeons, right? Everything's so meaningless, I would say. I think it's a good way to put it, and that's just for me personally, but just really very meaningless. No flying mounts. I said that before. It's just an idea. I'd even be cool with the idea if there would be flying mounts in Classic, as long as it's really ridiculously expensive. And I don't mean 2k gold, I mean 15k gold or something. So that it's something very unique. But yeah, I would agree. The flying mounts very much depopulated the world as well. Anything that's flying and not on the ground, really. It's just, again, like it's something cool too, right? To have something to ride. Like at some point, the ultimate goal would be you get to fly a griffin on your own. But again, that would be something, I don't know, that would have to be very, very expensive and something very unique, so that only like 1 or 2 people on the server could get it. I mean, or even like rank 15, you know, the possibilities are endless, right? The rank 15 guy gets it or something. I don't know. Right, but of course, just like the guy that opened up this thread, I would love to hear what you guys think is like the killer for you. For me, also personally, I just don't like the, you know, the new talent trees, for example. I just feel, of course, people said, yeah, in the old one you just put points in the thing, and then you would unlock something very, very static, and it wouldn't. It wasn't even that great. But to be quite honest, the new talent points are or talent trees are just, I don't know, I just don't understand. Then there was stuff like garrisons and order holds, etc, etc. But I'm very, very sure there's more. If you guys let me know what you think, I can answer on those, and I'm very sure I forgot a lot of them. Just wanted to get this one out there real quick, because I think it's a really cool thing that you guys can comment on, and then we will pick up on that. Right, and then we got Lol Basket, and he opened a thread, also on Classic WoW R. He said, I've heard that the production recipes mainly make bank off of a few profitable or rare recipes. I would like to level up a production profession along with gathering one while leveling. So I'd like to know which recipes for each profession would make choosing those worthwhile. And I think here I can let's say Hodor the Great responds in saying there are a couple of rare recipes, but they usually come from raiding, such as like Lionheart, Helmet, and those usually go to guild crafters, because they would just outfit the whole guild with that certain item. Same for enchants and spell power enchants and all that stuff. But there are actually some cool ones that you can get, however, that, you know, for example, as Alchemist is probably always a very solid way to go. Alchemy provides you with a cooldown that you can spam, and that's Arcanet bars, or you can get the Undeath to water, and then you run Strath Life, and then you transmute the Essence of Undeath to Essence of Water, and those are usually 4 gold more expensive than the Essence of Undeath, and the Essence of Undeath usually just gets sold very, very cheaply. Another thing that comes into mind is, yeah, the Crusader enchant, as he says here. That's for enchanters. And for the alchemists, of course, you can farm the flask recipes, and you can farm them yourself, right? You could reserve it, and if you'd like to, you know, throw your head against a certain boss 20,000 times until it finally drops, you can make flask, and you can make bank of that. Another good example is probably the Greater Fire Protection Potion recipe, because that's a protection potion that you will always need, no matter what is coming your way. And yeah, those are pretty solid ones. I mean, the rest is probably from raiding. That's true what he says. You can make some money off leather working if you have Hide of the Wild at the start of the server, for example, or you craft the Devil's Sword stuff if you get access to the gear. But my bet would probably be like a good thing to do is get the Greater Fire Protection Potion recipe, and you can craft for a lot of people and sell that stuff. Let me think if I have anything else that I can think of right off the top of my head. Enchanting is always good if you like me, like standing around an Ironforge and just cash in tips for enchanting people, and that's of course voluntarily. But if you just stand around, or you know, that's good. If you're more of a farming, grinding person, you should definitely pick up a gathering profession. And I'd say alchemy is always a really you can't really go wrong with alchemy, right? You can make money with a lot of professions. But probably if you're Enchanter Crusader and agility, 15 agility from Timbermold, the recipes are really good. And other than that, protection potion recipes are always worth. Flask, probably leatherworking and blacksmithing, not so much to make money. But there you go. I hope that helped a little bit. Alright, let's continue this. I need more questions to answer, and let me know what 3 points define Classic for you compared to retail. What makes retail Classic so special for you that you don't like about retail anymore? Put it in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching and the support. I'll fire up the stream right now, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.